Ladies and gentlemen, winners and warriors, let's cut the fluff and get straight to the truth. Your life is your responsibility. Not your parents, not your boss, not the system, yours. And here's the good news. You don't need a year. You don't need 10. You need 30 days. That's it. 30 days to shift your momentum. 30 days to break patterns. 30 days to remind the world who you really are. You see, transformation isn't a miracle, it's a method. It's a commitment, and it starts with this question. Are you willing to do what most won't, so you can live like most never will? Let me give it to you raw. If you want to change your body, your income, your mindset, whatever it is, stop waiting for perfect conditions. Start with what you've got. Start now, because here's what a 1-month success guide looks like. Discipline is the bridge between intention and transformation. That statement isn't just a motivational phrase, it's a fundamental truth. People talk about goals, they dream of big things, they write plans, make promises, build visions. But between all that desire and the actual change they want to experience, there is only one thing that consistently closes the gap: discipline. Not talent, not luck, not motivation, just discipline. Intention is the starting point. It's the idea, the spark, the vision in your mind that says, I want more, I want better. That intention might come from frustration, inspiration, pain, or even envy. But intention alone changes nothing. Intention without discipline is like a car with no engine. Looks like it could move, but it's going nowhere. People wake up every day saying they want to be better, get healthier, earn more, grow mentally, build something meaningful, but wanting it doesn't make it happen. Without discipline, it stays a wish, a fantasy, a someday that never comes scenario. Discipline is not about being perfect or being robotic. It's about being consistent. It's showing up when it's hard. It's choosing action over excuses. It's doing the small, boring, thankless things day after day that build the foundation of real change. That's the secret nobody wants to hear. Transformation doesn't arrive with fanfare. It sneaks in through the back door when you're grinding quietly, when nobody's watching, when the motivation is gone, and all you have left is the choice to keep going. Every major shift in a person's life, physical, mental, financial, spiritual, happens on the back of habits. Habits are built through repetition, and repetition requires discipline. You don't get strong by going to the gym when you feel like it. You get strong by going when you don't. You don't grow a business by working only when it's exciting. You grow it by showing up when it's boring, when you're tired, when it feels like nothing's working. That's where real change is born, in the trenches, in the hard moments, in the places nobody celebrates. People often confuse discipline with punishment. That's the wrong mindset. Discipline is freedom. Discipline gives you control over your future. It removes chaos. It turns you into someone who can be counted on, by yourself and by others. It's the ultimate act of self-respect. When you commit to something and follow through, not because it's easy, not because someone's watching, but because you said you would, that's power. That's identity. That's how you become unshakable. Discipline builds trust with yourself, and self-trust is one of the most underrated forms of confidence. When you know you're the kind of person who follows through, when you don't second, guess whether you'll show up or not, when your word becomes law to yourself, that's when everything changes. That's when you stop negotiating with your weaknesses. That's when you stop giving energy to your excuses. You start acting like the person you say you want to become, and slowly that person stops being a vision and starts becoming your reality. Intention is emotional. It's connected to desire, pain, excitement, fear. It flares up and then dies down. It's volatile. Discipline, on the other hand, is calm. It's neutral. It doesn't care how you feel. It just shows up and does the work. You need both, but one is the spark and the other is the fuel. Without discipline, intention just flickers and fades. With discipline, even a weak intention can lead to powerful transformation because action over time compounds. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent enough to gain momentum. Look around at anyone who's made massive progress in any area of life. Their story might sound glamorous now, but behind the scenes it's always the same formula, discipline applied relentlessly. They failed, they struggled, they wanted to quit, but they didn't stop. They kept showing up. That's what separates them from the crowd. Not superior skills, not a special background, not some secret resource, just relentless discipline. In today's world, where everything is designed to distract you, seduce you, pull you away from what matters, discipline becomes even more valuable. It's a superpower. Every notification, every temptation, every shortcut is calling you to drift, but discipline is what anchors you. It keeps your eyes on the mission. It makes you immune to the noise. While others scroll, you build. While others procrastinate, you execute. While others complain, you rise. That's the edge discipline gives you. You won't always feel like doing what needs to be done. That's not a flaw, that's human. But discipline doesn't ask for your permission. It doesn't need motivation to act. It just moves, and the more you train yourself to rely on discipline rather than emotion, the more unstoppable you become. Emotion is temporary. Discipline builds legacy. This is especially important when progress feels invisible. When you're working, but you don't see the results yet. When the transformation hasn't shown up physically, financially, or externally, but you keep going. That's discipline. That's where the transformation is actually happening, under the surface, inside your identity, in the roots. And eventually it will break through, but only if you stay the course. Discipline also removes the drama. It quiets the mental noise. When you operate from discipline, you don't need to constantly convince yourself to act. You don't need to wrestle with your mind every morning. The decision is already made. You move regardless of how you feel. That's what high performers do. That's what leaders do. They don't wait for the right mood. They build systems, habits, and routines that carry them through. And those systems are forged through discipline. You want to transform your life. Set the intention. That's step one. Define what you want. Get clear. Feel it. But then forget the fireworks. Forget the hype. What matters next is how you move when the spotlight is off. When it's early. When it's late. When it's inconvenient. That's where transformation lives, in the places no one sees, where it's just you and your choices. Discipline is how you walk that bridge. It's how you take that intention and breathe life into it. You don't leap across, you don't teleport. You walk it step by step, day by day. Some days you sprint, some days you crawl, but you never stop. You move forward, and each act of discipline, no matter how small, lays down another piece of that bridge. Eventually, you look back and realize you've crossed into a new version of yourself. Not because of a single big moment, but because of 1,000 small disciplined choices. Cut the noise, keep the vision, execute daily. In a world overloaded with distractions, this is not a slogan. It's a survival strategy. Everywhere you look, something is screaming for your attention. Your phone buzzes. Your feed scrolls endlessly. Everyone has an opinion. Every app wants your time. Every notification is a thief dressed like a friend. The noise is constant, and it's designed to keep you chasing things that don't matter. If you don't deliberately cut it, it will run your life, and not in the direction of your goals, but away from them. Noise isn't just sound. It's anything that clouds your focus. It's gossip, it's doubt, it's comparison. It's that voice that says maybe later. It's the fear disguised as logic. It's the 100 open tabs on your screen and in your brain. And here's the dangerous part. The noise doesn't feel wrong. It feels normal. It feels familiar. You think you're being productive when you're just being busy. You think you're making progress when you're just reacting. You mistake motion for movement, but movement without direction is just spinning in circles. You can't build something meaningful in chaos. Focus is the only multiplier that turns small efforts into massive results. That's why cutting the noise is step one. You need clarity. You need simplicity. You need to identify what actually moves the needle and delete everything else. That's not easy in a culture addicted to stimulation. It takes courage to unplug. It takes strength to say no. It takes discipline to choose depth over distraction. But until you cut the noise, your vision stays buried under mental clutter. Keeping the vision is not about constantly thinking big. It's about refusing to forget why you started. The world will throw 1,000 things in your path to make you question your goal, to water it down, to compromise it, to delay it. You'll see others succeeding faster. You'll feel behind. You'll get tempted to change your route. But when your vision is clear, you don't need external validation. You already know where you're going. That's what makes it powerful. It doesn't sway with the weather. It anchors you. The vision isn't just a goal. It's a filter. It tells you what to focus on. It tells you who to say no to. It tells you which battles are worth fighting. Without a vision, you say yes to everything and progress on nothing. With a vision, you cut the unnecessary, you simplify, you act with purpose, you become intentional. You don't just work hard, you work smart. Your effort is targeted, not scattered. Your energy is protected, not wasted. You can't rely on memory to hold your vision. You've got to see it daily, write it, speak it, visualize it. Remind yourself constantly. In a distracted world, remembering what matters is a competitive advantage. Because the minute you forget your vision, you start playing someone else's game. You get pulled into noise that looks like opportunity, but is really just distraction wearing a clever disguise. Keeping the vision sharp is your defense. It protects your time. It protects your focus. It protects your future. But vision and clarity are still just potential. Execution is the bridge. No matter how sharp your focus or how clear your goals, if you don't take action, real, uncomfortable, disciplined action, nothing changes. Execution is what turns dreams into results, and here's the hard truth. Daily execution is where most people fall off. Not because they lack desire, but because they lack systems. Because consistency feels boring. Because results take longer than expected. Because motivation fades and life gets in the way. That's where habits come in. Habits are your backup system when willpower is weak. When you execute daily, it's not about working 10 hours a day. It's about showing up no matter what. Doing the one thing that matters most. Staying connected to your craft. Sharpening your edge. You don't need giant moves every day. You need aligned action. Small steps executed relentlessly compound into massive change. The power of daily execution isn't in the speed, it's in the consistency. People talk about hustle, but hustle without alignment is just motion without direction. The goal isn't to be busy. The goal is to be effective. That's why your execution must be intentional. You don't wake up and see what happens. You wake up with a plan, you attack your priorities, you don't let the day lead you, you lead it. You have a rhythm, a system, a non-negotiable set of actions that push your vision forward, no matter what chaos is happening around you. And the truth is, most of the time, execution won't feel exciting. It won't feel glamorous, it'll feel repetitive. But repetition is what sharpens your edge. Repetition is what builds excellence. When you train yourself to execute regardless of mood, you become unstoppable. You're no longer driven by emotion, you're driven by commitment, and commitment doesn't flinch, it doesn't pause. It doesn't care how it feels. It gets the job done. Every successful person you admire has mastered this. They don't let the noise distract them. They protect their environment. They shield their time. They lock onto the vision and take aligned action every single day. That's why they win, not because they're lucky, not because they're smarter, but because they're consistent. They move when others hesitate. They execute when others excuse. That gap between talking and doing. That's where they live. In today's world, attention is currency, and most people are broke. They've spent it all on distractions, on drama, on things that don't push them forward. But if you can reclaim your focus, if you can cut the noise, stay locked into your vision, and execute relentlessly, you become rare. And rare is valuable, rare gets results, rare builds legacy. It's not about doing everything. It's about doing the right things and doing them well over and over again until the world has no choice but to take notice. Transformation doesn't begin with the world changing around you. It begins with you changing how you show up inside it. For the past few minutes, you've heard the truth laid out in simple terms. No sugar, coating, no gimmicks, no false promises. Just clarity, vision, and execution. You now understand the core of what it takes to transform your life in just 1 month. Not through magic, not through luck, but through laser, sharp focus, relentless discipline, and the courage to take daily action, even when no one is watching. You now know the tools. The question is, will you use them? Transformation is a decision. It's not a gift you wait for, and it's not a door someone else opens for you. It's a moment when you say, enough is enough. Enough drifting, enough doubting, enough wasting time waiting for the right moment to feel motivated. You stop hoping and start building. You stop wishing and start working. You stop consuming noise and start producing results. You grab your life by the collar and steer it where it needs to go, not where it's been drifting aimlessly. You are 1 month away from momentum, 1 month away from clarity, 1 month away from becoming the version of yourself you keep seeing in your head but haven't yet lived in real time. It doesn't require perfection. It doesn't require superhuman effort. It requires consistency, commitment, and a refusal to back down when it gets hard. Because it will get hard, life will test your decision to grow, resistance will show up, distractions will come back louder than ever. But now you'll recognize them for what they are, noise, and you'll be equipped to cut it. There are 2 types of pain in life, the pain of discipline and the pain of regret. Discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons. The next time you feel like skipping the routine, like hitting snooze, like backing off your vision, remember that every small action is a vote for who you're becoming. You don't need to be perfect. You need to cast more votes for your future than your past. You need to win more days than you lose. You need to stop letting your feelings negotiate your future. This is where strength is built, not in doing what's easy, but in choosing what's necessary. Your brain will tell you to wait, to slow down, to settle for less. That's its job, survival. But your soul, the part of you that dreams, the part that imagines more, the part that knows your potential, it wants you to go. It wants you to push, to rise, to break limits, and the only way to feed that part of you is through aligned action. Every step forward silences doubt. Every completed habit rewrites your identity. Every single win builds belief. And belief is what creates breakthroughs. Don't underestimate what can happen in 1 month. 30 days of absolute clarity, daily execution, and zero tolerance for distractions is enough to rewrite your momentum. It's enough to give you proof that you're not stuck. You've just been unfocused. It's enough to reset your habits, realign your goals, and rewire your self-image. When you go all in, when you stop waiting for outside permission and start creating your own internal fire, your life bends. It adjusts because it has no choice. The world responds to people who move with conviction. Everything around you is built by people no smarter than you, just more focused, more consistent, more decisive. The results you crave are already available. They're just hidden behind a layer of daily discipline that most people never push through. They dabble, they start, they stop. You won't. You'll go deeper. You'll lock in your vision. You'll wake up each day and choose execution. Not because it's easy, but because your future is worth it. Because you're done living at half capacity. Stop chasing hacks. Stop looking for shortcuts. The foundation has already been given to you. Cut the noise, eliminate distractions, say no more often, control your environment, and guard your mind. Keep the vision, remind yourself daily of where you're going, why you're going, and who you're becoming. Execute daily, build habits that align with your future, move forward no matter how small the step, and make your actions louder than your words. Do this relentlessly, without negotiation, without delay. Some people will not understand your commitment. They'll call it obsession. Let them. They don't have your vision. They don't carry your purpose. You do. This isn't for everyone. It's for those who are ready to lead their own lives. It's for those who are done being controlled by old habits, old stories, and old limitations. It's for the few willing to trade comfort for growth, excuses for accountability, and reaction for intention. There will be moments when you want to quit, moments when nothing seems to be working, moments when progress is invisible and the finish line feels too far away. That's normal. That's the territory of growth. But if you stay in motion, if you keep executing, if you keep cutting the noise and holding the vision, you'll push through. You'll rise. You'll come out the other side stronger, sharper, more focused, more powerful, because you didn't fold when it got hard. You led yourself through it. The difference between a transformed life and a life of quiet frustration isn't luck. It's how people handle those days when they don't feel like showing up. The winners show up anyway. The disciplined show up anyway. The leaders show up anyway, because they're no longer waiting to feel ready. They're acting from a decision that's already been made. And that decision says, I don't stop until the job is done. If you want to live an uncommon life, you must start doing uncommon things. You must lead when others follow. You must focus when others drift. You must move with purpose when others hesitate. Transformation doesn't happen someday. It happens today, and then again tomorrow, and again the next day. And before you know it, you wake up in a different reality, not because the world changed, but because you did. So this is your call, this is your chance. Not next year, not next month. Right now, you've been given the framework. You've been given the mindset. The roadmap is clear. The decision is yours. Are you willing to go all in for 30 days? Are you willing to lead yourself through discomfort into discipline, through distraction into direction, through doubt into dominance? Because if you are, then transformation isn't a question anymore. It's a promise, 1 month, one mission. One new version of you, built from the ground up by your own hands. The noise will still be there. The world will keep spinning, but you won't be the same. You'll be focused. You'll be driven. You'll be walking proof that transformation isn't magic. It's execution. And no one can take that away from you.